Hey, Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM23 Lions episode 15. Our early season confidence is defined by 4 objectives. We've succeeded on all 3 that we've encountered so far. If we can continue that trend through this 4th one with a stage win at Settimana, things are looking really good because only 1 out of the next 5 objectives has anything beyond 1 star, and that would play us right till the very end of May and into the final phase, and just 3 objectives left by that point, meaning half of our greater objectives are going to be behind us already. We have a handful of days to get that stage win for Settimana. Let's get to it and see what we can do. First time in this series, we finally encounter a team time trial, and we set off with Samuels on the front. Just 13k for this one. That's it. It's really short, but I also lack time trialists on this squad massively. We do come into this race with 4 guys having set an objective for this, able to squeeze it in. One of them has their fitness peak at this point, so we're looking at a +5 for one rider, Ishimwe, and he's got it. The rest of the team, absolute garbage. Race day condition, draw. This literally can't get much worse as a net than what we've picked up. Our expected for this was a +9. Our outcome was a +1. So a massive -8 draw, averaging more than a -1 per rider, is pretty harsh. What can we do though? We'll see. There's a lot of really, really low ratings. And after this kind of first turn, I think for the most part, I'm going to have 2 riders do the entirety of the ride towards the finish line. Johannes Dalek, you can see he's handling a little bit of it. Shimwei, this is the one we got to watch out for. If I push too hard, he's going to destroy everybody else behind him. And that is exactly what's happening. These guys do not have the ratings to keep up with Shimwei. But that means Shimwei himself can go on for days. And Ruteus here is going to have the same issue of these 2 are ditching the rest of the freaking team. Really? Come on, kudos. Samuels, you guys got to make contact with them. They're literally backing off. Everybody else will be set to follow, but we've got to get guys in contact with them. Johannes Dalek and Samuels, the only ones that are even close. This is not a good experience, folks. This is not good for our first encounter with time trialing. These guys literally blew up in 1k, and they were only pushing an 89 initially, very quickly dropped to an 88, and Kudos and Samuels right now are our time. Molebron, Gabrayevet are miles behind, and this is Samuels and Kudos. Back off a little bit so that they can maybe function. Johannes Dalek also. These 2, I'm backing off more and more and more and more and more, trying to get somebody able to make contact with them so that they can lead. What I was planning on doing was, after that first turn, literally having those 2 do all of the riding and everyone else follow. I do now have 3 guys going at their pace, but here goes Samuels again, unable to keep up, and he's going to get dropped by these 2. This is a pitiful team time trial. It really cannot go much worse than this. Our front 2 have already crossed the line. They don't get that time. They're going to get the time of Samuels, and Samuels is way behind. We're going to be right at the end of the grid, I think, with a time like that. 17:37. Molebron is going to come in quite a bit later. He's going to lose probably a minute and a half there, or at least 30 seconds anyway. Gabrayevet's going to lose easily over a minute. Somehow we're ahead of Bengal. Wow. Stunned that we managed to finish 10th as a team in this race with that utter debacle. That was the most heavily offset team time trial that I've encountered. And I knew that I was going to have to back off with those two. I knew that I was going to have to let those two do the riding, let others follow. But we never even got a chance to properly set up. The two guys at the front did their round and immediately dropped. And their round was shortened quite a bit and not pushed hard. Normally, for 13K, the guys can handle a 91. We just don't have the ratings. I'm going to have to drastically adjust for the next team time trial that we get, tactically, how we approach it. 105K left to go on this one. I'm going to try to take it quick through at least this phase and push towards the end, but I wanted to give you a little introduction as we go forward. First off, our race day condition draw yesterday was worse. It wasn't just a -8, it was a -10. The expected was a +11. We got a +1. Today, really not much better. Same expectation. Really bad outcome. +4 today, which means we have a -7 net second day in a row. So we're averaging a -1 per rider. And there's no excuse for it. The guys aren't fatigued. Every single rider has a 94 or 95% fitness level or better, with many of them at 98, 99. They have the objective. We have the 1 fitness peak. We are about to have 4 fitness peaks before the end of this race. There's really no excuse for 2 horrible draws such as we've had. 6 stages for this race. The first one was a sprint. We already bypassed that, so this is stage 3. And there are 2 stages that I looked at on the profile that are our kind of stages. Punchy stages that look quite winnable. If our race day condition was better, I'd look at today and go, it's quite winnable. With this draw, I have my doubts. So we might have to rely on a single opportunity, but that doesn't mean that today is not an opportunity and that we can't do it. So we're going to get out there and do what we can. 60K to go. Let's go ahead and get water. Johannes Delic and a -3 will be the man to get it. It's a -3 draw for him as he was expected to be neutral today on 0. And water is taken care of. 48K to go. Once I finish this climb, we are red bar dropping a little bit, but barely, just barely dropping. With 2 climbs to go, this is where we're going to put our foot down and improve our effort. Make sure we get into that front position. We want to hold that on the next one and then go for it on the last one. We are surrounded by some pretty competitive riders. This Settimana race is not lacking in quality opposition. There certainly is some quality opposition here, so it's going to be difficult. We'll slow things down here for the climb. Now going in 80, Johannes Delic in particular looks like he's not going to last for the final climb, so we'll go ahead and give him the gel now so he can maybe make it through this climb and at least give us a little something on the descent on the prep phase. And we are starting to struggle to keep position. We might go a little bit harder here. 82. See how that holds. Nearly to the top. Yeah, 82 is fine. Still drifting just a tiny bit, but not in a bad way. And having plenty left in the tank. And Johannes Delic is running out of energy as we go over the top. Still have a breakaway away. I should have put somebody in the breakaway today, but 2 reasons why I didn't. 1, I wasn't sure who I wanted to put in the break, who I wanted to leave here, and by the time I had that sorted out, the breakaway had already gone away. 2, I wanted to have all hands on deck for the push at the end. Still a chance that we're going to catch these guys, but it's not looking great. Minute 30 to the front single rider. Difficult catch from there, but 20K out means it's certainly possible he will be caught. I'm not going to go sprint train just yet, but we are going to go on the early side of things. Gabrayevet, gel, rotisserie chicken. It's going to be the easier way to say that name. One of these days, I might have it down. 15K. Johannes Delic still here, but nothing to push with, so he will not be part of our sprint chain. We'll just throw him on the back anyway. 13.6k. We've got some uphill, so I don't want to go just yet. Thank you for that being Johannes Dalek, who goes down. Hopefully he's not injured, though. He's already up. Man, that was fast. Okay, 11.6. It's time to get moving. Shimway should not be in this, but he's got that +5. It's giving him a huge boost. Huge boost as in he has an 80 stamina today, and a normal 67 mountain is a 73. That's the best we have to work with. It's not pretty. Not pretty. We are going to ride for him, though, as a result. It looks like we're already in a state of being out of the GC, thanks to that time trial, even though it surprisingly went much better than expected with a... keep pushing with Roteus here a little bit longer. Now we're starting to get some other guys re-overtake. 9.2k, Gabravet pushing a little bit less hard. One got us established at the front, and that's fine. He didn't last long, though. Samuels, Gabravet not lasting long either. But they got us through the two little punchy hills along the way. What do we have profile-wise? One more little upswing here, and it kind of levels off, but then it's the one climb that will decide it. And I only have a few guys to make that happen. We've caught the breakaway. Breakaway does not win, so that's good. No more red bar for Samuels, but he's got a little bit of yellow, so we will push for what he's got. 4.7k, and he is done. So on to Mullebrun, 96 for him. 3 guys. What can we do here? What can we do? We do have the prime position with 3.6k to go, and Mullebrun and all his punchiness of a 73 hills. 2.8k. Sprinting for him, he's out of red bar, so he can only really sprint so well. 2k, kudos, still following. This is holding others at bay for now. 1.7, kudos. Okay, these guys are coming up on us, so you've got to do what you could do here. 1k to go. Shimway is well in position. That's the top of the KOM. It was a little deceiving. Shimway is out front. Can he continue for the finish line? He's out of red bar. He is being challenged by Velasco. Will he get the throw to the line? No, he does not. Velasco steals it on the line. Shimway and Mullebrun and Kudos, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. At the very least, we've achieved a partial failure. A stage win will be hard to come by. A Shimway, just not a good enough climber. He had endless amounts of stamina today, but he sucked at climbing, so when he came for that final push, he didn't last long, as it were. 72 hills rating, 73 mountain rating, just not enough. Not enough for that final push. So close. Mega stage 4. This is the big climbing stage. This is the decisive stage. I've put a rider into the break. It's Gabravet. He was contributing. In fact, he did a lot to establish the break, but they've continued to push on. Actually really just now starting to lift that tempo a little bit. So I had to stop contributing so that he could survive and hang on. Will eventually contribute again. But among the group, he is probably one of the better climbers. Not normally, just today with a +4. By the way, we're now up to an expected +17 as a team with 3 fitness peaks. We continue to get poor draws. We do have 3 guys with good race day condition, but kudos, LeBron with massive, combined -6. Our 2 best climbers have a -6 race day condition. It's just hard to make anything happen with these kind of draws. This is going to be a hard stage to make something happen with anyway, though, as it's a strange profile. It's a hard climbing profile, and we're not exactly good climbers yet. And then it's a sprint finish, and I don't have a Gibbons here to make something happen in those regards. But we are up 2 portions of our first categorized climb of the day, and then we have the actual Allscat hard, steep, And a couple riders now attacking the group. A few too many riders not contributing. Gabraevic certainly has done more than his share so far, but you are seeing the group trying to disintegrate, attack on its own here. And this is not about Gabraevic. This is about 9 guys not contributing. Gaps out to 4 minutes though, and down to 10 riders as one rider did get dropped on the first climb. Okay, here we go. On to the hard climb. 7.5K. 9.2%. And a couple guys insistent on going quite deep on this climb. We're down to 9. Back in the peloton. Our 74 is not sufficient. I do not... Oh, yeah, they're dropping relatively fast. So make that a 79. I'll check in a moment to make sure that they are still there, still intact. 4:11 gap. 2 key riders doing the work. Paco is a 57 mountain. This is not exactly tough stuff, except for somehow it is. It's like he's going 99 or something. Kudos. Okay, Johannes Dalek. Rotisserie. He's the furthest back. He's the one who has to up his effort. Gabraevic down to 5 in the group. We will continue to try to contribute to this one, but it's looking like 2 riders are about to go away. Gabraevic will be in a chase group of 2. So right now, our hopes and dreams are no longer on a breakaway victory, as those 2 are riding quite far away. Total. Similar to what Gabraevic has today anyway. Front 2 have split. Okay, now he can contribute as he was able to hang onto my wheel. We see a couple guys riding away. Are those favorites? No one's at the back, by the way, so we do make it through the climb. Kudos, Molebron, exhausted but good enough climbers that they were able to hold position. Yo-yoing in the field, but it will almost certainly come back together. We are the first multi-member group on the road, Gabraevic that is. Can he and Debacle catch back up? Can they combine to make up ground on the front 2 as they are separated? Still possible. The worst of the climbing is now behind us, but the next climb is nearly as hard as the climb we were just on, and going to be done with significantly less energy to begin with. All right, we got 2 guys up front. We've got a 3rd guy hanging on in Molebron. 76K to go. And a small group. Go ahead and get water, Molebron. Kudos. Go ahead and technically protect, but also get water. And Johannes Dalek on your own. Go ahead and get water. Plenty of downhill kilometers the rest of the way, so 75K they might make it without having to get water in additional time. Molebron's still trying to return to the front and get into the lower portion of the valley here in really poor shape. We're going to gel up also for him. Come on, take care of the water before you are exhausted. He gets Samuels. There he goes. Okay. And they are already pulling back a number of breakaway riders. Time to push harder for this climb. 225 behind those front 2 guys. They have opened up quite the gap here, and we are not getting help. Let's go ahead and ditch this guy. Can he stay with me? Will he stay with me? Peloton's still a little ways behind those 2. And Molebron going backwards. Kudos. Oh man, rotisserie. Mr. Chicken. Just cannot climb. at the pace necessary. Kudos. Gabrejevic come back and give us some support. Speaking of support, Kudos has regained contact and is slowly moving his way up the grid. Let's push a little harder. They are 1.6k now from the top. Bring Gabrejevic back in nearly to the top. There we go. Mo's trying to attack. Protect Shimway. There's Samuels. There's the Shimway. Oh, cool. Son of a. Rotisserie dropped right at the top because Kudos couldn't handle. We can do this though. Follow Kudos. Just off the back. Might still get there. It'll give me 4 guys. It's not going to leave him much energy. It rules him out of being my sprinter on the day. Shimway, Gabrejevic. It's going to be one of those two. 50k. That's a lot of racing still to do. Those 2 riders off front, 317 their advantage. They might hang on. We put somebody in the break today, but Gabrejevic just was not strong enough to handle it. And Rotisserie. Roteasir has nearly made contact with the back end. Probably should have waited till near the top of this particular climb because he's going to push to try to progress and doesn't have a whole lot of energy to do so. But even if this is the only thing he manages to do, that's still a thing. He's done it. He's completed it. And no, we are not the one to chase back those 2. But winning the stage is looking really tough with those 2 riders away. Protect Samuels, the other leader. Let's check up on those 2. Just how strong are they? They're not. That's a 62 mountain for Van Boven. And Dux is 66. They can and should be caught. But there has to be firepower to chase them. There has to be enough riders from enough teams capable. There's 52 in the peloton. Kudos is in no man's land in between. He left behind that group of 7. I didn't want to pull those guys back, and I'm glad I didn't. Roteasir. Try to get that right the rest of this stage. Roteasir is giving us something. I mean, Samuels is back to full strength here. And the next climb, we're going to put our foot down. We're not going to win a sprint. Best thing we can do is see this group blow up. And the front 2 have split. There you go. That improves the odds. That really improves the odds of something happening favorably to get a winner from this group. Is there a sprinter in this bunch? Yeah, Shimway. And then Samuels. That is what it's going to have to come down to. Gel for Roteasir. Minute 30 to the second man, and we lose freaking Samuels. They're back in. They are back in contact. No, now it's seen as the front group. Why? Who here is the front? Frigo. Frigo is the front man. He is the favorite. He's further back, but that's okay. Roteasir, take control. Oh, come on. He gets blocked by Gabrejevic and Skivild. Loses 2 bike lengths and everybody drops back to follow. Oof, Tiberius. This field is no joke. Calzone. Man, we got all sorts of food stuff going on here. Rotisserie chicken. We've got some calzones. We're in Italy. And calzones are present. Roteasir just about gets us to the top of this thing. Onto Gabrejevic. Shimway. Samuels has not quite made that contact yet. Field is split. Teosir has just a little bit of energy to help conserve and protect Ishimwe just a little bit, but we've really got to watch him close. One rider off the front, minute 44 ahead. It is our last breakaway rider. He cannot have a whole lot of firepower. Those two little hills can do a lot. Gabraevet is done. Guys, follow, try to recover. See if you can't give me a little something again. Here's the last two little hills. Minute 13 to the breakaway rider. This is what we needed to catch him. Peloton down to 39, by the way. There he is. 13.7K, though. Those two. Back end. Field is stretched. We've stretched the field. Here we go. Push. Samuels, push. Split the field off. Catch this guy. There goes Calzone. And a front group of 9/10/27. Ishimwe. It's not Skelmos, but follow him. Samuels. Follow Ishimwe. Okay, quick check-in. Chad Haga. Wild Christian Eiking. Definitely some good riders and big splits. 22 left, a few off the back. Ishimwe was following this guy. Samuels, Gel. One rider off the front, 6 seconds ahead, 5.5K to go. Samuels is saving just a little bit that he can give me a lead out, but I've got to time it, 4K. I got to time it. He's got to take over at about 3K and then bring us forward. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. One last little downhill swing as well. So Samuels is going to go forward at a 94. We'll see what a 94 brings us. Good pace. .8. Samuels sprinting, and Ishimwe. Not capable as a sprinter. Not capable as a sprinter. He's going to get maybe 5th place. Eduardo Flores. Velasco Frigo takes 3rd. Ishimwe gets a top 5. It's a good result. I mean, Peter Sagan is here, and he just took 8th. Our Calzone rider takes 11th. Gaps given. Small group. 16 riders in the front one. Samuels at the second group, 22 seconds down, and then we're talking about over 2 minutes. So this is going to change over how the GC situation looks. And Ishimwe climbs all the way up into 13th position with Calzone in the leader. Calzone as the race leader. Valerio Conti is second with Frigo third. Sagan is 4th. Taberi is 8th. Kevin Rivera is 10th. Reichenbach. Man, there's some quality. There's some quality in this field compared to a small continental team such as ours. So having a rider all the way up in 13th is absolutely an achievement. Surviving a pretty hefty, they call it hill stage, but pretty hefty climbing stage was good. And also here's the scenario that had kind of just played out. That breakaway would have won the stage today if we don't chase it down. If Samuels does not commit to those 2 hills and that chunk of about 15K, I think that breakaway hangs on. In particular, if Gabraevet does not get dropped. If those 4 riders are together, they win that stage. There wasn't enough firepower in the field, and there wasn't enough other teams contributing to the chase to successfully bring that back. But unless Gabraevet is up at the front, I've got to go for the stage, right? So I've got to chase. Stage win is really all we need. The GC is one of those icing on cake scenarios that I would love to have happen, but realistically, we need a stage win. We've already got a 2nd place, so we are close. And today was another close call as we get 5th place. Difficult on this ask without a sprint. difficult on this ask with Samuels totally exhausted and only giving us a partial lead out for a Shimway, though at least he got that little bit of recovery and gave us a partial lead out after all. But a Shimway is not beating these guys, head to head. We're talking about a 65-73. We're talking about a 69-73. We're talking about a 76-76 these days for 35-year-old legend Peter Sagan. Shimway and his 62-61, even with a good race day condition, didn't stand much of a chance, which was why we needed a split to occur in that section, which is why we went ahead and went for it and tried to push and split the field, and it did drop some riders, but not enough. 16, hang on, get to the finish line all together, and we are where we are in the competition at this point, with 2 stages to go, 2 more opportunities, 1 more favorable one, and we're coming off of 3 really, really, really poor race day condition draws. It should balance out. Hopefully we'll get a better draw. Now, we don't expect a plus 17 when it's plus 17 because you have 3 plus 5s. You can't do better than a plus 5, so you can draw a plus 8 and still show up with a plus 5. And that plus 3 just disappears. So the roll of the dice, it's hard to balance out. We have had our plus 5s with our one rider twice now. So it's possible. It's possible that we had a point or 2 more, or 3 points more from him, from his draw. Certainly possible. But overall, that doesn't come anywhere near balancing out those last 2 stages. In particular, I didn't count on the previous one for that time trial, but it wasn't good either. It was very much not good. And we are on 3 fitness peaks now. The 4th one may kick in tomorrow, as it was right there. 99%. In fact, I thought all 3 would trigger same day, so it probably will trigger for him tomorrow, which means we'll be looking at plus 20. Plus 20 from 4 riders. We could and should have something strong for the next stage, and we do have a chance to go out there and win that stage, especially as close as we were on that previous one. I like our chances, but that doesn't mean we're going to get it. We might not get closer than the 2nd place we got. We might not get closer than a photo finish bike throw loss. But here's to hoping. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.